What's up guys, welcome to another video. We got a lot of stuff going on with Big Block. If you didn't see the update where we talked about some of the changes and stuff we're doing to the chassis before it goes to PRI, I recommend going and checking out that video. We're just kind of chatting as a team, but we're gonna dive right in. We got Cricket here, Owen here, and they're about to go ham and cutting stuff up, modifying things, and you guys will see what goes on.
All right, so looking at the rule book per FD specifications, you can have your trans tunnel at the base of it 18 inches wide. And 18 inches is this on both sides going back. Now it's allowed to start there. It can't be any wider than 10 inches towards the back and 10 inches high for the actual whole trans tunnel itself going back. My question is, this is still technically firewall, all of this that we beat up just to fit the headers, and the trans tunnel starts on this new piece of metal. So I'm going to take pictures, tape off everything, send pictures to Kevin Wells to see if I can actually cut this section of firewall out and replace it with the .036 required mild steel that they say I can use for the firewall. But we're going to take pictures, we're going to tape it off, and we're going to send it to them and wait for an answer before I start chopping everything out of here, because you can't go back, unfortunately. So we have basically everything ripped out of here that we need to cut the trans tunnel. Owen has been taking out all the electronics and fuel, well not fuel lines, but all the other coolant lines, oil lines are getting removed. We have all the seats out, everything is out of this so I can start cutting it. I'm just waiting for the thumbs up from Kevin Wells. That way I can chop out the side of the firewall and replace it. And then we're gonna cut the trans tunnel probably back to here. I'll have to redo the hydro mount, which is all right. We have all week to do that. So, or at least to do the trans tunnel. Because if you look in here, Coffee, you can see that this is already notched out to fit the trans, and it barely fits in there as it sits. So I'm just gonna cut out back to where this next thing of metal is and go from there. We're allowed to go 10 inches wide and 10 inches high. So I'm probably gonna taper it down to match this and then go to the 10 inches and 10 inches all the way up, and at least follow suit to where it matches there. Because it shows in the rule book that where the arch is on it, which is basically here after the trans, has to be no bigger than 10 by 10. And then up front, whatever the factory one was, you can go up to 18 inches. So I'm gonna taper it from 18 down to 10. And we're gonna make a new hydro mount, and we're gonna clean up the firewall because it looks kind of crappy. And as Adam said, it's going to PRI, and somebody's gonna see it and be like, damn, they just beat the crap out of that thing instead of making a new firewall. Yep. So we're gonna make a new firewall. So I had it taped up higher before, but where the gas pedal was welded in, I don't want to cut around that and have to deal with it. So I'm going just under where the gas pedal is, and it takes care of all of this hammered out stuff. And this is gonna be cut out as well. So I just wanted to give you an idea on where we're going to start the trans tunnel, the firewall cutout and patch, and then where the trans tunnel actually starts. So the base of it is 18 inches per the rule book, and then the top of it has to be 10 inches from the end of the windshield to the bottom of that. It can't be any higher than 10 inches. And I'm going to order some metal today because we have to have it no bigger than 036. So it's pretty thin on the firewall. Trans tunnel, it didn't have one, it just couldn't be over like 063. But it does have to be strong enough for the hydro mount so it doesn't flex. So we might have to do a little reinforcement somewhere, but we'll get to that. All right, so I just got off the phone with Kevin Wells. over in California. He is the head of technical inspection for FD, all safety things required. I'm not allowed to cut out any of this. You're allowed to go up to 18 inches wide on the tunnel itself. Even though this is technically part of the firewall, you're not allowed to cut this part out. He said I can beat the crap out of it and finesse it and make it look nicer, but I can't actually plate this part. But you are allowed to beat it into submission. So luckily SP sent me a whole bunch of really heavy duty sledgehammers that were bigger than the ones that they have over here. So I'm gonna go get one of them bad boys. I'm gonna put on my headphones, maybe listen to some Coldplay, I don't know. But I'm gonna beat the hell out of this thing. And then we're gonna go and cut out more of this. So you see how this is kind of just made to fit the trans? There's not much room for it to be able to shimmy and move. So I'm gonna cut this all the way back right to the edge on both sides and give this as much room as possible. Then I'm gonna build a really sweet cap, use that CNC plasma machine that we got over in the Bailey shop, and then do a little bead roll, maybe a little pedestal for the shifter to go up through, and then it'll give us a place for the SFI fireproof shifter boot to go. Because as it sits right now, there's not very good mounting plates for it on the HTK, and Adam still wants to keep the carbon fiber bits in there because I mean they're really nice and they look clean. So we're gonna keep the trans tunnel the same size so it fits that, as well as we can't cut the front. So we're just gonna beat a bunch of stuff with a hammer. It's Friday, let's beat the shit out of some stuff. So after talking with Kevin Wells, the only thing that we really needed to do was try to clearance more room for our headers and make more room for our transmission to go in and out. We weren't allowed to cut any bigger than what we wanted to, really, and Adam also wants to keep in his HGK center console trans tunnel. It's carbon fiber, so I technically can't make it any bigger than it already is because it's fit to mold to the trans tunnel. So we're kind of limited on what we could do. So we're making more room for Owen to be able to pull the trans and make sure he can get that out and serviceable when he's at the track, or you know, doesn't have to pull the whole damn motor to get it out, and have enough room to clearance for the headers to be able to drop out and get out of the way while it's still, the motor's still in the car. And I have now made more room, so I don't actually need the pedal stop because I made my trans tunnel more finessed like Kevin said I could do. So I'm going to remove that pedal stop because it's not needed anymore, and then I'm going to round that out and try to get some of those crinkles out. I can't promise that I will, but I'm going to do my best. I have a smaller hammer now. I was using a lot bigger one earlier, so this should be the finesse one. This is more like a wristlet, not a purse, you know, or a clutch. You know, my purse is down there. It's the big orange one, coffee sauce. So we have the gas pedal. I don't know what aftermarket brand it is. It's pretty sweet though, because it's electronic gas pedal for electronic auto bodies. And I used to have a pedal stop there, but now that we have finessed the firewall a lot nicer and more round, it becomes our pedal stop. We have 3 pedal stop, my friend. Don't have to worry about any movement if you do that. Got your own little Studdy Van Halen's over here. We're blind drawing. We'll let you know how it works out. Can't see it because I can't get that low underneath there. So we just stick it on these studs. Yeah, look at that. So we're gonna obviously do the outer line on it just in case, but also measure. But this gives us the contour of it, where my hydro mount goes and everything, and then I will take and overlay this onto the one that we previously had in here. That was just a cover-up piece. There's nothing special to look at. Oh, I might have even thrown it away by now. But that's just to get my shifter location in relation to the marks that I put on here to show where the nut certs went. So I can put that back on there and then mark where the shifter hole was. That way I can recreate this without having the transmission and motor in the car. So we don't have the trans in the car, we don't have the motor in the car, so I can't really figure out exactly where the trans goes. So before I pulled this plate, or before I cut out the trans tunnel part, we had nut certs in there. So I made marks so I know where the nut certs went. So on this template, I marked where the nut certs went, drew a straight line across it, so that one point of contact allows me to line up my nut cert hole, which will give me the rough estimate as long as I make sure all of this is even, because this plate was even on the frame, on the trans tunnel. So by rights, as long as this line is in the middle on both sides, that should be perfect. You'll have enough room to actually be able to look at the whole trans when you take the cap off. So all of these bolts up here you'll be able to get to. You can check out all of your dog gears and everything if you have to on track and not pull the transmission. A lot of the times you can't see that because it's on top of the trans tunnel or underneath it, so you can't see it. But with this, you'll be able to see all of it. Look at that, perfect fit. I just have to notch around for the hydro, and she's good to go. Yeah, we'll cap it all off, then we'll cover it up with carbon fiber.
Love it.
Yeah, we'll keep the heat out though, and we have that DEI insulated sticky foam that you can put on there, so it has fiberglass and then metal on the outside to protect it, and you can put that up underneath there to keep any of the heat from the exhaust radiating up. So the last thing we have to do besides mount this and notch this is take these ugly things off the sides, which will probably save us another 1.5 pounds on each side because those things are pretty thick. So when we come back, we're going to end up taking a spot weld remover, which you can buy at any Harbor Freight or anything. They're like $5 for a set of them, and they work really well. I'll show you how to use those, the easiest way to do it without making it walk and whatnot. But we're going to remove all that, clean up the firewall. As you can see, we got that nice and rounded out with a little bit of a ball peen hammer. So we're going to work this side a little bit more too, but the trans tunnel is basically almost there. I got to build a little pedestal off of here to enclose in the shifter, and it'll pop up through the carbon fiber, but we'll do that later on. Let's see if our math is mathing, Coffee.
Wow.
The math does math. Yeah, thanks Bailey. Very easy. CNC plasma, just pick the shape that I wanted to, cut it out, bent it, broke it, and then there we go. It's ready to go. Maybe a pound. This is a body mend layer or sound deadening. It's basically just helps stick it together and stops heat from passing through the trans tunnel, as well as vibration, and holds it together in case the spot welds ever break. We're gonna heat it up from the backside and then take a putty knife and scrape it off. That's the easiest way to do it. A lot of people talk about doing dry ice on all of your body mend and stuff like that, sound deadening, because it works really well. But try holding that up against some dry ice up against that for 5 minutes while it gets cold enough to crack off. Your hand's gonna fall apart before that, or whatever you put. So I just heat it from the backside with a torch. It gets hot, and then the glue lets go from the metal to the body mend, and you can just peel it all in one piece, and we'll show you here in a minute. It's nice and easy. You need a friend though. Always have a friend when you do this. So he can heat and you can scrape, or vice versa. See how long it actually takes, start to finish, to heat this up and peel it off. Versus, you know, I don't have any dry ice to try it, but everyone that's done dry ice knows how long it takes. So, go ahead, start it, Bobby.
We're good.
Just heat the back side up. You'll see it start to smoke a little bit, and that's how you know it's hot. 45 seconds? Minute 6. Not bad. And it's pretty clean. Alright, so the last bit we have to do on this is I want to clean up where these spot welds are that I just removed. On the edges of them, they stick out a little bit, so I just want to grind those down. And then with the trans tunnel, the clearance of it, I want to open up more on the inside of this. I have this much more that I can cut out, and honestly that's probably 2 or 3 pounds just right there in that little square. The side pieces didn't weigh much, but that chunk has like 4 plates all welded together across it, so it's really strong right there at the top, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I still left a good chunk of it for structural integrity, not that it really needs it. The car is caged, so when you cage a car you can take out certain things. Cut that out, cap that, clean that up, and then I'm gonna grind down these tunnels. And just, you see how the paint's chipping off? I want to get all of that paint off of there so I can really get an idea on the contour of it, and then hammer it out and smooth it out so it's nice and clean. Fire wheel. Always make sure to wear a face mask for this. Do not just wear glasses, because these things shoot off and will stick into you. Maybe I'll show you afterwards how many are stuck to me or in me. I can definitely tell Ray and Josh didn't paint this car because the paint comes off way too easy. I don't like it. I mean, it's not good. But, boy, for prepping this for what I need to do, yeah, it works real good. It could also be that I beat the ever-living crap out of this trans tunnel, so that's why the paint's chipping off. Either way, I'm happy it's not sticking like it normally does, because it makes removal a lot easier. Now I can see what I'm working with. I can see the contours. I know where I have to hammer out where the creases are to get that nice and smooth.
Got about 20% left. We're gonna pull the fuel cell, radiator, oil tank, battery, and then the rest of the harness back here, and then the remaining fuel lines, and then the firewall also. But we're gonna wait till he's done making a mess in there before we do that.
I'm not listening to Coldplay this time. Watched this thing come out before. It wasn't fun putting it in. So unfortunately, even though you see how tight my trans tunnel is that I made, HGK did not allow any tolerance to go through. So just that little 16 gauge on each side of it that wrapped around it is too thick for this to fit down the sides without bowing out. So I'm gonna have to take and cut off the tabs that I bent down so it fit real nice. Luckily I have enough room, and I left myself enough edge on it. It'll give us that little bit extra room. I gotta remove this because it's so much fun to put in. So this little bit right there, even though it's tight, it can't be any skinnier. rubs up against this edge. So in order for it to go flat on the hydro mount and not bow out and be wonky, I'm gonna have to cut this edge off of here, which is fine. Still got enough meat on the bone. That's definitely a pound. Like any race car with multiple people involved that aren't here at the same time, things are fluid, to say the least. So Hardstock had a mention about upper bell housing bolts. I don't know about y'all, but I've never even heard of those before. To get to those, it'd be easier if I built out a little bit, as well as the fuel lines are running against the firewall, and looking at the fuel rails, they go straight down like this with a 90, but if we twisted them in like this, they could come down and have a lot more room right here, because as it sits, they go straight down here and here. So if we just turn the 90s that way, it'll run the hoses at an angle, which will give us a lot more room. And I'm gonna take from here and angle it down to where this cap, where this black line is, to come down like that, and then have like a little shelf across here. Because I wanna tie this back in to make this sturdy again. So I'm gonna box this all in and clean this up so it'll all be nice and open in here, so Owen will have all the room in the world to run his hoses, be able to put an upper bell housing bolt in, whatever that is, and, you know, make life easier for him. So we have our cardboard that we are making for the new cap. So I want to make sure I have a shelf to be able to hold this up and tie in the trans tunnel together. We're going to cut this section off of the plate because we went through it. We can't get the carbon fiber to fit in there. But with this, where it's at, the carbon fiber should, by rights, still fit. I might have to take and angle this out just because it might be a little tall for the carbon fiber. We're about to find out. We'll cut it. Yep. What? Alright, so we notched out everything for the fuel lines and the upper bell housing bolt. I don't know even how to pronounce it. I don't know what it is. But we have it. If you look on the other side, we have everything done on that side. We just have to weld it in and mount it and seal it, but there should be plenty of room for Owen. We have everything nice and molded on this side. So once we get everything welded into place, we'll cut the excess on that side and the engine side. Just so it has more room, because as it sits now, we have a little bit left that we can cut off inside of there. But on this side, inside looks even better. What you think, Coffee?
I think it was pretty good. What do you think, Owen?
Pretty good. Lots of room now because all the fuel lines. I think we should just run the fuel lines right through there now. Because like we had a problem where like the fuel lines were in between the bell housing and the body.
So Owen started today with my wish.
Yeah.
Straight up, my wish, if I could have one, would be.
It was a shifter, wasn't it, first?
It was, yeah, he had a lot of wishes today.
Yeah, a lot of wishes.
God, he has a lot of wishes. He's very needy. But we take care of Owen. He's a good dude. And whatever we can do to make his job easier and less work and faster, the better. You know, so we have just a little bit left to shimmy and shake under there, and then he can hide all of his fuel lines, his upper bell housing bolts, and the headers will fit a lot better now. So we were able to massage some more, smooth everything out. So tomorrow we're just gonna weld it in and finish it up, and there's your trans tunnel.
When you said